Hi, this is Nikita Burdick with Prosperity Lending, and in this video we're going to discuss VA requirements. The two biggest questions that I get most often are, one, what is the minimum credit score needed for a VA loan? And two, do I qualify for 0% down? Let me first start off by saying that the VA loan is an amazing program. If you qualify, then you should really take advantage of this program. First, the VA itself does not have minimum credit requirements. However, your lender might have what's called overlays. And these overlays would require additional requirements, and they may require a minimum credit score. Even if your lender doesn't have overlays, lender has to be able to find an investor that will do the loan. So typically we like to see credit scores starting at least 580, but if you have up to a 620 plus, then you're going to have more programs available to you. To figure out what credit score you're needed for the different programs, you'll need to contact your lender. The higher your credit score is, the better the rate is likely going to be. Okay. Now, next, can you put 0% down? Short answer, yes. If you are eligible, you do not need any grant programs to be able to put 0% down. So the key here is if you are eligible. Now, how do you determine if you're eligible? Well, if you are retired, discharged, or currently not serving, then you would provide your lender with a DD-214. Then your lender will be able to obtain what's called a certificate of eligibility. From there, the lender can calculate your eligibility or your entitlement through that certificate of eligibility. If you are eligible and never used a VA loan before, then you likely have what's called full entitlement and are most likely able to put 0% down. However, you'll want to verify with your lender before you start shopping so you know your out-of-pocket requirements. Okay, what kinds of things affect your ability to be able to put 0% down even if you are eligible for a VA loan? One of those things are if you already have an existing VA loan on a home and that VA loan is taking up some of your entitlement, then you might have to put something down on a subsequent VA loan. So those are the answers to the two main questions that I get most of the time. But there are other noteworthy aspects of the VA loan that I would like to go over. First, VA has no monthly mortgage insurance. That's right. No monthly mortgage insurance. So that means you can put 0% down and have no mortgage insurance. So, for example, on a conventional loan, if you put less than 20% down, then you have what's called PMI or monthly mortgage insurance. The reason why these conventional loans have mortgage insurance is that mortgage insurance essentially protects the lender against default since you don't have very much skin in the game. However, the VA doesn't charge this monthly mortgage insurance. What the VA does charge, though, is an upfront mortgage insurance premium called a funding fee. The amount of the funding fee that you will pay will depend on if it's your first use of the VA loan or subsequent use, meaning you've gotten a second, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever so on loan. So, for example, if you are putting 0% down and it's your first time ever using the VA loan, then your funding fee will be 2.3% as of the date of this video. If you are putting 0% down and you have already used a VA loan once, so it's a subsequent use, then your funding fee will be 3.6% as of the date of this video. Now, this upfront mortgage insurance premium or funding fee can be paid in one of two ways. The first way is the full amount can be paid at escrow upfront through your closing costs. And the second and most popular way to pay it is through your mortgage and have it financed through your mortgage. Additionally, there are situations when a veteran can be exempt from the funding fee. Being exempt from the funding fee means, yes, you can put 0% down, have no monthly mortgage insurance, and you don't have to pay an upfront mortgage insurance premium. The way we as lenders determine if you are eligible for the exemption of the funding fee is to obtain that certificate of eligibility, which will tell us. The VA determines if you're eligible, not us, the lender. Now, the VA has certain requirements for being exempt, such as having a service-connected disability. Next, an important factor of loans are the debt-to-income ratios. Debt to income is how much debt do you have on your credit report, including your housing expense versus the income you make. There's going to be two ratios that we look at, and the VA loans allow for higher ratios, which means you can have higher debt. If you want to learn how to calculate your debt to income ratio, I do have a video on my YouTube channel that you can watch and learn how to calculate that on your own if you so wish to do so. Next important factor of VA loans is that it can only be used for a primary home, which means a home that you intend to occupy as your place of living or your primary residence for at least 1 year. VA does not like loans for investment properties. There are ways around this still fitting in the VA guidelines. For instance, you could buy a multi-unit, 4 units, and say you live in 1 unit, then you can rent out the other 3 units and cover your mortgage, if not make some money each month. Please stay tuned for another video on FHA and VA house hacking where we can discuss this multi-unit strategy in more detail. One additional caveat to the 1 year occupancy rule is if you are currently serving and you get discharged before the year, then the VA is not going to penalize you for renting your home out upon deployment. If you are deployed prior to the year, then the VA is not going to penalize you for renting your home out prior to once you are deployed. Finally, how much of a loan can I get, right? That's a big question to ask too. So the VA doesn't provide exact limits on loan limits, but you might, again, have a lender that has overlays and they will charge or they will have loan limits on how high they're willing to give you a loan. The other thing is, like we mentioned before, is your lender, even if they don't have overlays, like we don't have overlays, we need to find an investor that's willing to give the loan, and they all have requirements. So it's really going to come down to, what is your credit score? What is your debt to income? You're really going to need to apply for us to be able to determine what is the maximum loan amount you can obtain. Now, I know I said finally, but there is one more point I think is very necessary for you to understand when you're getting a veteran loan. Yes, you can put 0% down. Yes, there's no monthly mortgage insurance, and possibly you're exempt from the funding fee, right? But it is not completely cost-free. You still have closing costs. Closing costs are not something that is financed into the loan on a VA loan. Closing costs are usually 2 to 3%. And the reason we have to give a range is that a lot of the costs come from third parties. So you have costs from title, you have the appraisal report, for example. Us, the lender, for my company at least, we only charge a flat underwriting and processing fee. And then there might be points associated with your rate, should you choose a rate that has points associated with it. If you want to learn more about rates, points, and locking, there will be another video that comes out about that. However, all of the other costs are coming from third parties, property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and things like that. So we give a range of, say, 2 to 3% that you do need to factor into. If you don't have closing costs, that's something to talk about with your realtor, because sometimes, depending on the house and how long it's been listed, and that is definitely a realtor strategy, but there might be a way to get the seller to pay for your closing costs through a seller credit. If you want to learn more about that, contact your realtor. If you do not have a realtor, I'd be happy to connect you with one. So these are the requirements for the VA. If you want to learn more about veteran loans and what might be required, or if you want to apply for a veteran loan, then please give me a call. Thank you.